guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jamesia Capri, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hey, so look, I did a survey, I did a poll, and I asked you guys what you guys wanted me to talk about on this live. So let me get started on that. It looks like nurse and nurse practitioner success tips is what we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm wondering if this is a good time for me to go live. Look, y'all, I'm tired, but I said I was going to do it. So here I am. Okay, let me get a few housekeeping things going on here. I thank you guys for stopping by. I am a full-time family nurse practitioner and an associate professor online. I'm also a mindset coach, public speaker, and entrepreneur. And I appreciate you guys being here tonight. And if you're listening to this on the replay, please send me some comments, comment, subscribe to my channel. I would love that very much. Watch a video. I'm so sure there's something here for you that you would enjoy, that you can learn from. So thank you. And so tonight is going to be fairly quick. I'm hoping not to take up a lot of your time, but we're going to go over some success tips. And so two things. This will be from a perspective of a professor, as well as perspective from a former student. Okay. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was, or is consistency with your studies. You want to make sure that you're very consistent with what you're doing and you're creating study habits that will last you throughout your program. And most of the time, what happens is we are learning how to study during the process of it. But what I'm saying is be consistent, show up consistently, which leads me into my next tip for you, which is to show up. In general, just show up for you, show up for yourself, show up for this degree. So that's also a tip. I'm trying to get over here, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to put up my words over here to see what in the world. Hold on. Is it, y'all? I can't find it. Okay. Well, I'll find it later. Anyway, so that is tip number 2. Show up for yourself, show up for your degree. Number 3, reach out immediately to your instructor or your preceptor just to introduce yourself, to make sure that you know what's expected of you in the class as well as in the clinical site. So if you are going to a clinical site, make sure that you know what your preceptor is looking for. Make sure you know exactly how the clinic is running, what time they open, what time they close, what you are expected to do. Now, don't go to clinic and say you're going to be there until 5 o'clock, and then you keep showing up saying you have to leave at 2 or 3 because you have to work. Don't do that. Make sure you have everything set so that you can be in clinical when you're supposed to be in clinical, and also in class when you're supposed to be in class. Some of these online courses are not synchronous, but some of them are. So if you're in a synchronous program, make sure you're showing up for that and you're on time, you're visible, you're asking questions, and you're raising your hand so that your teacher knows who you are. And so when something comes up, if something comes up that needs to be discussed or rectified, then they know who you are and they have a softer heart towards you. But when they don't know who you are, it's easier to say no to something, or even to give you, I don't want to say give you a bad grade, but it's easier to do that and not negotiate. But once you have a relationship, then you have the opportunity to negotiate and have some type of relationship. I hope that makes sense to you guys. The other thing is, when you're in school in a program like nursing school or nurse practitioner school, the course load is heavy. It's very heavy. And there's a lot of work, a lot of detail that goes into medicine, that goes into caring for people. So there's going to be a lot of time that you're mentally drained as well as physically drained, because a lot of you are still going to school, right? And so you're going to school, excuse me, a lot of you are still working and going to school at the same time. So in doing that, it takes physical toll on you. It takes a mental toll on you. So you're going to need to take out time for self-care as well. And I know you're like, okay, how am I going to do that with all of the other things that I have to do? Well, I want to tell you that you're going to have to schedule that in, because if you don't, you're not going to be any good for yourself, your family, your job, and something's going to fall. And most of the time, what falls is your schoolwork. And then you end up having a situation where you have to either take an incomplete, or you have to drop out, or something along those lines that you don't want to have to do. So be sure that you are taking time for your self-care. That's so, so important. And when I say self-care, it doesn't have to be the traditional self-care, like getting a massage or having a bath or taking a walk or anything like that. It doesn't have to be that in the traditional sense, although those things are amazing. Those things work as well. But I mean stuff like journaling, setting a schedule up for the next week. That's caring for yourself. Being organized, right? Taking the time to separate yourself from drama. Keeping your mental space elevated. Not being around negative people, the naysayers. Spending time with your own inner peace. Those types of things. Meditating, listening to good music, listening to binaural beats. I don't know, whatever it may be, not the sense that you have to leave and go and exercise, take a walk, a massage or whatever. Like I said, those are amazing as well. But sometimes it's the immediate thing that you need. And that sometimes may look a little bit different. Okay. Also, a support system. Have a good support system. And it may be someone you connect with outside of your home, someone you connect with at school, having a very good support system. So that's that tip. Self-care. Self-care is a tip. My girlfriend Vernita says self-care is a revolution. So taking care of yourself is a revolution. So make sure you do that. Also, ask for help, whether that be in your household, help around the house, help with tasks that you normally would do on your own, that you think only you can do. Some of that has to be delegated, right? Another thing I tell my students, as far as asking for help, when you get in the classroom environment, connect with some of your peers. Doesn't have to be a lot, maybe two, maybe three. Get a group together, connect, and ask for help. And when I say ask for help, when we give you chapters to read, we're not giving you 2 chapters, 3 chapters, 4 chapters. There's sometimes 19 chapters. And sometimes you cannot get all that reading in. And some semesters are 8 weeks versus 16 weeks versus 11 weeks. So when I say ask for help, and I don't mean to cheat, not that. I mean asking for help in the sense of community. Get with some classmates and say, okay, I'm going to tackle chapter 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. I'm going to teach it to you, and I need you to tackle 6 through 12, and I need you to teach that to me. And then that way, when you see those chapters and you go over those chapters, you at least are ready and have a good understanding of what you're looking at on your own, and you can kind of breeze through it a little bit easier. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. That is an amazing tip. So you need to use that one. So that one's amazing. The other thing I want to say about asking for help, if you get into the classroom platform and you can't find something, or you are struggling and you're spending like hours looking for something when you could have been doing something else, studying, reach out to your professor. Go to the question and answer section and ask. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. That way you can get the answer, because I believe that once you ask those questions, they have up to 48 hours to return your message, right? They have to respond after 48 hours. So do that as well. Also, ask another classmate, connect with people in class. Don't do things in isolation. Okay. Get community. That's another tip. The next thing I'll have you do also, as far as success tips for you as a nurse, for you as a student, be sure that you're looking through either policies on the unit, so you know what the policies are, you know what the regulations are. And in the classroom, make sure you're going through your syllabus. Go through your syllabus line by line. Do things early. Hand some papers in early. Do work early. Work ahead. The syllabus tells you everything that's going to be going on in class, and make sure you utilize that to give you, that direction, that path. That's what the syllabus is for. So I need you to do that as well. Okay. Also, oh yes, that comes to over preparing. Using your syllabus, using your course tools, using your policies and regulations, you're over preparing for the job. So make sure you're doing that. If you are in the clinical setting and you're seeing patients already, then make sure you're looking at the schedule the night before and seeing what's coming in and what they're coming in for. And you look in your books the night before to get yourself ready to see that patient the next day. It doesn't take a lot. I know it sounds like a lot. It doesn't. Open up, find out, have them print off whatever the schedule is for the next day. It says what the chief complaint is. Find out what those are. Look at that really quickly that evening when you get in, so you're prepared the next day, right? There's no huge shockers when you get on the floor, and your preceptor sees that you're at least ready, and they appreciate that, because you don't want to get into the clinical setting and you're holding up the schedule. You don't want that. You want to be so prepared, overly prepared, that you are flowing in the clinic as if that was your job, as if that's what you came to do. So you want to show up prepared, is what I'm saying. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. That is such an asset. You will land a job so quick when you come prepared and ready to go. And you're an asset to the clinic, because you're an additional body. You're an additional worker for that clinic. In essence, they can see more people if you are smooth and transition well in the clinic. Okay. So be prepared, over prepare. And if you over prepare in the classroom, then you're not stressed out and you're prepared. You're prepared to answer questions on the blackboard. You're prepared when your teacher asks you questions. You're prepared to respond, and you show up well. So that's that. Also, I want to say this. If you are a student and you are taking on a nurse practitioner program and you're working full time still, because a lot of us do that. I did it, but I worked weekends, only weekends. And then I went to school during the day, but that was back in the day when there was brick and mortar. So back to what I was saying to you is this: create alliances at work, so that if you need to work for someone else, give a favor to someone else, so that when the time comes, and it's going to come, when you need someone to cover a shift for you, you've already created an alliance with someone at work. Okay. You need to really hear me on that. Create alliances. All right. That's important. Okay. At work. Okay. Another thing too, that I find to be very, very important, that I don't see students doing as much as I think that they should. And that is tools, having tools with you in the clinic. And I have a couple here that I like very, very much, and I'm going to share them with you. I have, this is a great tool here. If you guys can see this, see how nice and small it is. This is soap for family medicine. I did a whole review on this, but this one is so good that it shows you the diagnosis. And then, can you guys see that? It shows you the diagnosis, and it also shows you how to chart it. It shows you what tests you should be ordering. It shows you what body parts you should be looking at. If you need a quick down and dirty, this soap, this is a good book. This is excellent. Okay. Can you guys see that? It seems like there's a glare. Okay. All right. That's that one. Also, this one is really good. It's just a little bit, it's a little bit bigger, and you can't just drop it in your lab coat. I mean, you could fold it a little bit like that and put it in your lab coat, but this one is bigger, and it's also much more detailed. Can you guys see that? It's also more detailed. And if you're like me, you need some glasses. So I have to put my glasses on, but it's more detailed. It's really it's a wealth of knowledge. You need tools. You need something that you can refer to. And don't worry about looking like you don't know everything. There's also another tool, and that is my nurse practitioner planner. This planner, I wanted to show. Well, you guys have seen this because I talk about it all the time. But this is a quick reference too. I have several different diagnoses in my planner that are quick and dirty. Some of the main diagnoses that we will see in the clinic. So that's also my Bon Capri planner, my nurse practitioner planner that I created. That's also an amazing reference. And so I will have those for you in the link. Also, do you guys have an APA? You need an APA manual. Let me see. I should have one. I do have one. I have an older one. But anyway, you guys need an APA manual so that you know how to write your papers and all that. You don't need that on the clinic, but you will need it in the classroom. So be sure you have an up-to-date APA manual, because those are points that you should not be getting taken off of your assignments, not for APA, if your APA is not correct. And I find myself still taking off points for that when there's so many APA tools out there. You guys are not using your references properly. So just get an APA book, or get on a site like, is it Purdue OWL? There's a Purdue OWL out there that you can go on a site for. There's a not credentialing. What is it called? Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, like a site hub to help you cite things. Okay. So that's important. And so the last thing that I want to tell you, my last tips for you tonight, this one's a big one, and it may be a little bit costly, but it's a really good tip. And I really want you to consider it if you have the money, and if you can get it. If you can get to a live review for your certification, a live certification review. If you can get to one of those during the middle of your program, like right in the middle. So if you're in an 8-week course, try to do it on week 4 or week 5, and then do it again. Not so that you can take the test, but so that you know what to study for. If you're like me, you need all the tools and all the time that you can get in order to be successful, because you don't have time to go through all of this school, and then it comes time to take your credentialing and you don't pass. That's very important. So if you can, do that in the middle so that you know what to be prepared for and how to study. It will also help you with your exams while in school. And it teaches you how to think and how they do these standardized tests, because standardized tests are not the same as on-the-job training. So when you see something done in the clinic and you want to mark that as the answer on your test, you may not be successful because they're two different things. And I'm not trying to confuse you, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Standardized testing is totally different from on the job. Okay. So those are my tips. And if you're listening to this on the replay, I would love it very, very much if you would subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, leave me some comments. And it looks like possibly next Thursday, if I go live next Thursday, we're going to talk about some lifestyle stuff. You guys look like you guys want to know about my lifestyle and what I'm doing out here in these streets. Also, I am going to be in Charlotte North Carolina this weekend doing a vision board event. I'm going to be doing like a small little speaking type thing. If you guys want to come and meet me, there is a vision board video on here with myself and some other moderators that will be doing that in North Carolina. If you want to check that out, I've also given you guys the information on that. And yeah, I would love to see you. I would love to meet you. I would love to hear any of your questions that you have for me, whether that be about my life or about being going from nursing, nurse practitioner to my doctoral program and to where I am today as an entrepreneur, instructor, and nurse practitioner. So I thank you guys for stopping by. I thank you so much for being a part of the extraordinary family. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.